This dream is relating, there's a couple of dreams I'm going to share, and I believe it's relating to the 3 days of darkness. And if you have not heard about 3 days of darkness, I'm going to put a couple of links from other prophetic videos and also a link for a downloadable PDF that you can use as a reference to prepare. I believe this event is imminent, and I think it's right around the corner. So if you have not heard about it, again, go to the links or Google it. People are saying in the world that the grid will go down, but I do believe that this is going to be a spiritual event, and it's just going to look different for people. So here's the dream. The first one I'll share happened on June the 10th, and I was in a building where it was kind of like a house party and a lot of people around. It was standing room only, and I was telling a couple of girls that to get their things together, and they were running around crying, and I was having a hard time telling neighbors and friends, and people weren't listening and understanding what was going on. And I was saying the 3 days of darkness are here. Get your things together. We need to go. And we were walking around. It was standing room only, like I said. And I started to go up the stairs into the second floor. And the whole ceiling was like a skylight. And I was looking out and was looking at the clouds and seeing what was going on. And all of a sudden, this big object, it looked like a sea urchin. And it's all I could think of, and it was had magenta and green and purple, and there was dots and dashes around it. It was a round kind of object, and it just made me feel like the texture was a sea urchin on the outside of it. That's all I could think of. So, and when I saw it, I said, "This is it." When I had my son, and we started grabbing kids and going down to the bottom floor, and I said, Get out, get to your homes, get safe. And we were off to jump on a electric train, and it was to take us to a transfer to another bus and then to our home. So we had a couple of things that we're kind of juggling to try to get back to our home in safety. And the electric train, the driver of the vehicle wouldn't stop, and there was a lot of people just talking and laughing. And we finally stood up and said, "Stop," and let us off, and turned around and just didn't care anymore who we told, and just said, the 3 days of darkness are here. Get into your homes and be safe. And we got off the train and onto the bus safely and went back to our homes. And we didn't really care who else heard about it. And so that was the first dream. And the second dream actually happened May 13th around 6 a.m. And I was in a school setting. There was lots of kids and families around, and there was this one girl that had a lot of skin on her, and she was short, and so her skin looked like it should be an adult skin, but it was sagging around her body and was hanging at her knees. And I include this part of the dream because I believe the interpretation is that she was still really young in the spirit and was still not ready to have spiritual meat, and she should have been ready. And she couldn't take in the information that was coming at her because she wasn't feeling her full potential and her full body. Her skin was sagging at her knees. And so it passed by her, and my son was with me, and we went inside this building and went upstairs, and we were checking sliders and glass windows, and we were just making sure, going around the entire area, making sure things were shut and buttoned up and closed and locked. And we were telling people that we met to seek safety. And there was a lot of other little details just going through this period of buttoning up and preparing. And I walked back to outside, and by myself, I went to a Jeep, and it was like an old Land Rover, like a safari vehicle, a vintage style, or a Toyota Land Cruiser, some of that style. And it was just me, and I went in, and I sat in the passenger seat, and the driver was a man that I didn't recognize, and he didn't say anything. I just got in and shut the door, and as soon as I shut the door, he took off driving, and there was no conversation, and we just drove, and all of a sudden he went up on this berm, and the vehicle flipped. It flipped twice. So it would flip and a flip. And I was completely awake in this dream, lucid dream and or vision, and I could feel the gravity on my face. And the whole time I knew we were spinning, but I had no fear. There was complete peace. And we flipped twice and landed firmly and hard on the ground, just for an instant stayed there, and then took off driving. And so I take that as, no matter this 3 days of darkness or the events that are coming, this is the expectation that Jesus is coming. And those that are with him and believe in him, he is having you under his wings. You're completely protected, completely safe, and there is no fear, that he will give you complete peace. And so make the preparations that you can, tell people that you can, gather your family and explain to them. But know that you are under his wings, and he is your refuge and your fortress. And so again, I urge you to go to the description, grab and watch the other links to some other voices of the talking about the 3 days of darkness. Grab the PDF, prepare as you can, but you'll make sure that you're not going to be going outside during this time when it starts. It'll likely feel like you'll see, maybe some people say aurora borealis, but I didn't see that in my dream. I just felt an ominous presence and the urgent spirit telling me to seek safety. And then there's also those that say like smoke will come, and it's really, I do know it's a thick darkness, a heavy presence that you want to make sure you stay inside. Don't open the door at all, even if you think you know the person. They need to seek their own shelter. But once you're inside, shut and locked, you do not open until the time is up and the Spirit tells you, the Holy Spirit tells you that it's safe. So your animals and things are protected. So grab the document if you need. If you haven't heard about it, you're welcome to leave notes in the comments. But God bless you, and he will see you through this time. Thank you for listening to this, and we'll see you in the next video.